Good, af- Good afternoon. Welcome to the Roar Makerz podcast.
The one-stop shop for courage, confidence, and mindset building.
Also bringing you all the aspects of mental health awareness, business, and entrepreneurship. We are your hosts,
Adam Ellis
and Jason Boorman of the Roar Makerz Coaching. Now, tonight we wanted to talk about a very special topic to our hearts. We don't have a guest tonight per se, but we're going to just chat to you as the Roar Makerz and be open and vulnerable. And the topic tonight is male vulnerability. And we're going to go into deep into, some of our stories with mental health and try and resonate with some of our listeners and viewers that might be watching and listening. So, do you want to start us off, Adam? Just to explain a little bit about male vulnerability and what that is.
Yeah. So male vulnerability it's more of a taboo subject, really, isn't it? Whereas it's the stigma around males can't be vulnerable because that's not what a man does. All these terms you hear, like man up and men don't cry and all that shit. It's just all shit. Because what is man up?
Exactly. What does it actually mean?
You can't explain. If you can't explain something, then what does it actually mean? So male vulnerability is a big topic close to my heart and yours. And we want every man, I know I'm generalizing here, but we pretty much want every man to be vulnerable and open up and talk to people about their problems, challenges, issues, whether it's relationship, work related, just generally down, any kind of issue or problem you have. It's better to talk to someone, whether that be a family member, a friend that you trust, a coach, a counsellor, whoever you feel trusted by.
Yeah. So aside from like being men and caring about this issue in terms of us sharing our vulnerabilities and feeling okay to do so, we've also got another mission. Well, the Roar Makerz have got a mission to try and reduce the number of male suicides between the ages 25 to 45. And even right down to school age boys, there's just too many males taking their life because they feel like they can't, because there's a stigma around not being vulnerable, not looking weak in front of your fellow man. But that's not the case. To share and be vulnerable shows great strength, and we want to really kind of get that message across. It's okay to go and chat to someone. I'm not saying go and spread it down the local pub, but I'm on about finding someone you actually trust to confide in, or a professional who, you can pay for their time and they can openly listen to you. And if you've generally got feelings of feeling suicidal or anything like that, I'm sure most people won't even charge you for that time, and just kind of setting you back on the right path, and away from feelings like that, and at the same time accepting them as part of being human. And we all have our down days, of course, and yeah, it's just about raising awareness that it's okay not to be okay.
It's like everyone's got a story to tell, but somewhere along the line, when you tell that story, other people might resonate with that and think, fuck, I'm feeling that way. I mean, if he's felt that way and he's overcome it, maybe I can. And that's how you reach out to him and you say, how did you do this? And then that's a cycle then, because the less people that post about the stories openly and honest, from themselves, then it's not getting out there. And then other people are like, oh, well, it's only me going through this problem. That's what some men think, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I'm not generalizing, but some men think, well, there's only me going through this problem, so no one can help. But the more you put your story out there and the more it resonates with that person, then to me, from my map and my view, it may be like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. I'm not the only one who's going through it alone. There's someone else out there.
Yeah, and it's just so sad to see that men feel that they can't, open up. Maybe they don't like getting sad. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it makes them feel not very nice in the moment, but overall, in the long run, it's going to help you. If you release some of that, anxiety or that, that depression that you might feel. If you get those down days that really kind of overwhelm you and knock you down. It's just knowing that there are people out there ready to support you. And that's sort of the message we wanted to get out. We did a live in our community, so Courage and Confidence Hub with Jason and Adam on Facebook. If you're not part of that community, then it's going to make yourself part of that community. It's a brilliant space where we allow freedom of speech and just being open and honest. And we recently did a live in there, our weekly live, and we talked about this topic, and we wanted to kind of carry it on today. Not to keep people in that view, but it's kind of, while we're on the subject, let's really drive this home and make people really aware of what goes on when you're feeling that way. So
it's like thinking it that thing I hate to say, but that standard response when someone asks, "Are you okay?" and the standard response, well, as a man, my standard response is to say I'm fine, even though you're not fine. The thing is, I'm fine. I might look happy on the outside, I might look engaging and having a bit of a laugh and banter, but on the inside, I'm broken. On the inside, I'm fucking hurting. But no one knows what you're going through on the inside because no one can see. So as soon as you say I'm fine, they'll be like, okay, and then they carry on. It's when you take that second to go, no, but are you actually fine? Are you okay? But most people don't. As soon as they say I'm fine, they just move on.
Yeah, and it's sometimes it can be painful to go. I'm not saying this process is an easy one, especially for men, like because we have that, I'm fine, and they kind of protect that, and wash it under the carpet, and bury it and bury it and bury it. We're very good at that, in terms because of all this conditioning. I think of the idea of what a man should be, passed down, from our fathers and grandfathers, and and people around us who we look up to, male role models when we're growing up. And yeah, they don't always show their emotions, so we've learned not to as well. And it's about trying to break that cycle and just being more human. Like,
I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, I was one of the guys who would quite happily listen to other people's problems and help them through it, but I wouldn't talk about my own. I'll take everyone else's problem on and help them through that, but I would not talk about my own problems. So not only have you got your own problems to deal with, now you've got everyone else's problems that you're trying to help.
and in a way, that's, my coach called me selfish when I said that to her. Because it is, when you help someone, you feel very good. You feel, yeah, I've really done some good today, and I can really, stamp that and say, yes, I've helped that person. it felt good, you know. So when we don't allow people near our problems, you know, in terms of them helping us, you know, even if it's just a pet talk, you know, or whatever they can give us. I'm not saying they can heal our problems, maybe they can't, but if you don't tell them, they never can. And I think that's a very powerful statement, you know. If you don't share with people what's going on for you, even if they can't help you, and you know that, if you don't share, then they never can. And that's a travesty, you know, because you're also denying them the good feeling of feeling like they've helped you, you know, and it's reciprocal, isn't it? Like, you know, this process of being human and showing love and connection.
It's like that statement, if you can't help yourself, how can you help others?
Yeah, there's nothing girly about showing love and showing affection. It's not like a, you know, anti-man issue. You know, you're not becoming less of a man because you're showing these emotions. If you still believe that, then, you know, I think we need a chat. You know, and come to me. Let me help you get rid of some of those beliefs, because they're definitely not serving you. You know, if the numbers of suicide in men are still sky high, then the message is not getting out there. And, you know, more people need to come and bang on my door and chat to me. Explain to me why being a man and keeping your feelings bottled up is better than, you know, being a man and openly showing it. Because stop being a man just because you're crying on my shoulder. Like, you know what I mean? Because you're going through a rough time, you know?
And I can say from experience that bottling stuff up ain't good. It doesn't serve you. It's probably the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It didn't serve me, and it definitely won't serve you.
And I've had some backlash this week, you know, for some of the stuff that I'm posting. You know, some of my, you know, friends and family have like reacted badly, and I'm like, you know, why? You know, I did a post where I shared like an unhappy picture of myself, like, you know, really vulnerable. Like, if I can take a smiley face, why can't I take one of me looking at my worst? You know, and I thought it was a powerful statement, and it's not always rosy for people. Like, you know, we're so used to seeing people's highlight reels, it's sometimes shocking to know that people aren't actually that happy. And it's not the continual state for me, you know, it's, you know, some days I have down days, some days I'm on top of the world, and it's just, that's the same for everyone, I'm pretty sure. Like, and, you know, no matter how good at coaching we get, you know, we can't be behind the steering wheel and under the bonnet at the same time. You know, even the best mechanic can't do that. You know, so when you're driving this body around, you know, you're thinking, you're in your thoughts. It's very hard to shift your thoughts, you know, when you're yourself. That's why we all need coaches, even coaches need coaches. And that's why I've got my support around me, and I use them. And yeah,
It's like
helps me, and it helps them feel good about themselves as well, that they've helped me. I'm more than happy to give that to people, because I'd rather that, and, you know, air my dirty laundry and stuff like that, and what's going on for me, than to keep it bottled up and just eating away at me. Like, because then I'm taken away from me, and like there's less of me to give, you know, in terms of when I have a good day.
It was like on our live we did yesterday in the Courage and Confidence hub with Jason and Adam. If you're not a member, please join. It's definitely a safe space, like Jason said. There's no judgment whatsoever. You will not be judged. You've got your freedom of speech, and you can post anything, whether it's your up days, your down days, your wins, your losses. whatever, you post it on there and we will help you through. If you've got the losses, we'll build you up. If you've got them wins, we'll celebrate them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like on the live we did yesterday, when I said I was so close from quitting coaching, because on that week, I was at my lowest. I didn't show I was at my lowest. I showed my happy face. I was laughing and joking. But on the inside, I was fucking crying. But I went back to my old ways where I just bottled it all up. And obviously, if you've not seen our podcast, if you check out episode 1 and 2 of mine and Jason's story, we do go into detail about our experiences and our old ways and how coaching has helped us. But I went back into my old way where I bottled it up. And I bottled it up so much, I didn't even speak to anyone. Didn't speak to parents, friends. I didn't speak to Jace, my business partner. I didn't even speak to Suze. I spoke to no one and bottled it up. And then all them thoughts came on at once, all them thoughts. And I was literally about that close from going, you know what? Fuck this, I'm done. That's it, coaching's done, I'm gone. Can't do it anymore. But that's when I think, well, how's it actually helped me? All this time I've put in, all this effort, all the money we spend on it, like making ourselves, all the time, energy, money, blood, sweat, tears we spend on ourselves. Was it all worth it? Yes, it was. At the time, it wasn't, because I was on the down day. But if we reflect back on everything that I've done, the time, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the amount of stuff I've put into this and what I've gained from it, and how many people I could serve, how many people I have served, how many people I will serve, the business we're building, the friends I've gained from it, the love and the support and all that, then why would I chuck all that down the grid just for one fucking down day? And that's where the words never give up come in.
Yeah.
Because life is hard. No one on this planet is walking through life going, this is a piece of piss. Life is hard. But it's not. I'm going to a quote from Sylvester Stallone in Rocky Balboa. It's not how hard you can get hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And it's a true statement. That is how winning is done. If you give up now, what have you got in life? You've got fuck all. You're a quitter. You're a loser. You're going to do nothing with your life. You're just going to be a waste of space, which is the thoughts that I was going through at the time. But then, just them 3 words, never give up, is what started to make my brain, whatever's in there, my brain tick. And then come out of that cycle and be like, well, I've put all this time and energy and blood, sweat and tears into this. I'm building a business. I've helped people. I'm going to help people. I want to change the suicide rate in men. I've gained friends from it. I've gained qualifications. I've gained this, that, and the other. And what's better than just chucking it all in the bin when you've got all this behind you? Not only can you change yourself, but you can change other people in the process. Now, for me, that is bigger than giving up. That's bigger than quitting. I don't want to be no fucking quitter.
That's it. It's the only way you can truly fail, isn't it? Which is if you give up. Like, so failures are good. We need to, well, we want to be people who, you know, take the failures as lessons and move forward with it. Like,
Without failure, there's no success.
yeah, exactly.
No one And you can talk to the top entrepreneurs, the top businessmen, the top coaches, the top counselors, whatever. You could talk to the top of the top CEOs, and I guarantee they will not come out and say, "Oh yeah, I've never failed. I got success straight away." That's bullshit. If they say that, run the other fucking way. Because no one has gone through life or the jobs to reach where they are without failing. You have to fail to succeed.
It's like the iceberg analogy, isn't it? I don't know if you've ever seen that picture. You got the iceberg, labeling success above the water, like above the water line. And then below the surface, you got sometimes 3, 4, 5 times, the iceberg that's on the top, below the surface. And that's all your determination, your failures, and all the blood, sweat, and tears that's gone into kind of your journey so far. And the success is what people see, but what they don't see is the hard work. So that's what I'm determined to show people. And that it's not easy, like, but we're still going forward. Like, we're not going to let this, anything stop us on our mission. That's what a mission is. You don't stop until you've achieved it.
And you might fail along the way. In fact, you will fail along the way. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You will fail. It's not me being nasty or being negative and that. That's me speaking the truth.
Or we will fail.
Yeah, this is me speaking.
A better way of putting it. Like,
now, I say this is me speaking the truth. This is just from my map, my view. This is what I see the truth is. Other people might not see it yet, but from my view, the truth is you will fail. There's no point going around life going, "Oh, I'll never fail, I'll never fail." I'm sorry, but you will fail. Without failure, you can't succeed. Without failing as a person, you can't make yourself a better person. Because we're all going to make mistakes. It's not the mistakes you make that counts. It's what you do with them mistakes, the lessons you learn from them mistakes, and how you can improve and make it better going forward.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of it's just acceptance and acceptance of that need to fail, because that's the only way you're going to learn and be able to grow. If your vision's not big enough, if it's not scaring you, like, that's another thing as well. It comes into what you want from the future, and if your vision's not scaring you, it's not big enough.
Because I'll honestly put my hand up now and say I was one of them people who said I would never fail. I was one of them people who say, I'm never going to fail. I'm going to be a success. I don't need to change. And yeah, it got me through a bit of life. But did it serve me? No. Was it good for me? No. The only, apart from meeting you and Suze and going through all the coaching journey, the only time it really hit me of me being selfish and going, I'll never fail, the only time it really fucking hit me is by one of the top female coaches, Lindsay Cap, who does emotional intelligence. If you've not done that course, I encourage everyone to do that course, because I can guarantee from doing it myself, and Jason might tell you as well, I can guarantee within that 8 weeks of you doing that course, you will see a different side of you. You'll see a better side of you. And at the end of it, you will be a better person, because everything that you thought will get rethinked. Everything that you did, it was not serving you. And you might not see it in the first 2-3 weeks, but I guarantee from week 4, you will start to see them changes. So I do encourage you all to check out lindsaycapcoaching.com and sign up for the 8-week EI course. It's the best thing you'll ever do. But that was a moment, that realization, reality slapped me in the face, is when Lindsay Cap did them 8 weeks with me.
I mean, that is a genuine testimonial. We're not getting plugged here or anything like that. No, we generally love Lindsay and her work and what she does, the time she spends with, us as coaches and attempting to make us better, more ethical, and generally more heart-led.
And I'm not saying to bump her up that she's one of the best coaches. She is actually one of the best coaches, and she's been recognised for it. I think last time I checked, it might still be the same, but I think she's the #1 female coach. Is it in emotional intelligence or in coaching? She's pretty much the female #1 coach. So I I encourage you to, even if you don't want to do the EI, just do some coaching with Lindsay, because it will change you. But I definitely encourage you to do the EI, because obviously there's 15 areas. We have gone over it on previous podcasts, so check them ones out. But there's 15 areas in your life that you didn't even know was out of balance. Like I was an empath. My empathy was through the roof. And my self-regard, that was like 6 feet under. And then doing them 8 weeks, it's changed me. My empathy has come right down, but my self-regard has gone right up.
Into balance. And that's really what you're after when you do this EI course. It's balance within the whole 15 areas. There's no point having one that's sky high, one that's down there and not being worked on. We need to be able to play with all these dials, and get them all to a place where they're in this middle zone, and that's, balance. Balance as humans, it comes across in how we express, and show our heart. We actually wear our heart on our sleeve. We're heart-led people now, and we serve from a place of love and connection. And
it even goes into male vulnerability, because before I did the EI course, I felt like I couldn't be vulnerable. Obviously, I've been vulnerable to you and Susan, but that's through the coaching and the EI.
I feel it's the ego that gets in the way, because of that.
But obviously, when I did them 8 weeks with Lindsay, she's pretty much the one who kicked my ass to say you can be vulnerable. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. In fact, vulnerability is the best thing you can do.
What's the deepest version of ourselves? I think it's the closest to our soul. It's how we genuinely feel. It's the truth. You can't
It is
deeper than the truth. It's our authentic selves. And if, when we're sharing those vulnerable moments, is how we really feel. And what's the point in being anything other than your authentic self? Like, you may feel it's great, living these lies, telling people, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, but it's just your ego. And when we learn to shelf that and, put that to one side and just serve from the heart, even if you're not a service person, serving on a closer, paradigm, where you're just serving your family with love and connection. How can you expect your kids to be open and vulnerable with you if you're not willing to be open and vulnerable with them? How are you going to meet them in, common, love and connection? Same with your wife, your partner, whoever you're, in an intimate relationship with. You need to be able to feel that, love and connection from both sides. You need to know what you're thinking. You need to know they want to be there for you and support you just like you want to be there for them. And that's what makes the strongest relationships, is when we can, we feel needed in that way. We are there for each other. We are there to support one another's emotions. And when we're struggling and having a down day, someone to take control and just tell us it'll be okay. And yeah, it's like inner child work as well. I think most men need healing from their childhood because they're beaten and molded into this person that we're seeing today. This kind of scared to be vulnerable, scared to do anything about their ego, unwilling to deviate from society, from what society believes man should be.
It's like after our live yesterday, when we came off our live and that, I sat in bed for a bit and this thought came into my head. And the thought was, before being vulnerable, I was speaking a lie. Before being vulnerable, you're bottling it up, you're speaking a lie. Now being vulnerable, the vulnerability is the truth. So when you're not vulnerable, that's your ego. And your ego is speaking the lie to protect you. Being vulnerable is the truth. So when you're being vulnerable, you are speaking your truth. Now, some people might not agree with that. That's fine. That's their view, their opinion, their map. But with my map and my view, being vulnerable is the truth. When you're speaking from a vulnerable place, you are speaking from a place of truth rather than a place of lie. And the place of truth is what's going to serve you. The place of truth is what's going to help other people.
It's being the mirror, isn't it? We want to be the mirror to show you what's possible for you. We can't do that from a place of lying to you. We have to be in our truth in order for you to show us yours. We have to be vulnerable in order for you to feel comfortable being vulnerable.
Yep.
Yeah. In order for us to feel love and connection, we need to be able to mirror that, and creating a safe space for our clients, and just putting our arm around them first and foremost and just listening.
Because if we can't be vulnerable, if we don't practice what we preach, how are the clients ever going to trust us to help them if we can't practice what we preach? If we can't be vulnerable, if we can't make a safe space, if we can't tell our truth, then who the hell are we to tell someone else their truth?
Yeah, so I was saying, I had a bit of backlash from the post I was posting this week. It just got me thinking, how in that mindset everybody is, or most people are. I don't want to generalize there, but it's mostly people close to me, like family and friends, who are not in the coaching space, that have reached out and said, "Oh, I don't think I should have posted a picture of myself, looking upset, or do I want to bring people down," and all these sorts of comments. No, in the fact, I'm doing the opposite. I'm showing people what's possible for them. That I'm showing them the truth of probably what's happening in their life that they're running away from, and they're they're not being courageous enough to show. And if that strikes some chords with people in a negative way, then this is a topic I'm prepared to get a few haters over, because I know I'm going to get a lot more love and connection, and in a way just highlighting to me that you're not the people I want to be around. And I still love you, but I don't agree with that view, and that's where the disconnect comes in. between, and it's sad because these are the people that are supposed to be close to me. Yeah.
It's like the friends, innit? You could have 15 friends in a group. It only takes one person to be that negative, always be the negative one, and that one person versus 14, that one person is going to win. Because as soon as you got a negative person, that automatically just spreads through everyone else, and it brings the whole team down. It makes everyone around you negative. It even makes you negative. You could have 14 positives and one negative. That one negative will win.
And I mean, that wasn't my intention to do that. And, I did apologize to those people and say that I'm sorry that that's made you look at yourselves differently, or maybe they're keeping up with their ego, in terms of, oh, people are going to look at me bad because you're a close friend or close relative of mine, and therefore I should be more aware of you and be responsible for your happiness in some sort of way. And I've made it clear to people that no one is responsible for anyone else's happiness. You alone, can be responsible for your happiness. That's not anyone else's responsibility.
It's like no one can be responsible for your actions. Like the actions you do, I can't be responsible for. The actions I do, you can't be responsible for. No one can force you. I mean, back in the olden days, it could, but no one can force you to do anything. Now, I know some people are going, well, what about abuse and this and that? No one can force you to do anything. You are responsible for your actions. Now, if this hits a nerve with people, then I apologise. Not my intention to offend anyone, but this is my view. This is the truth from my view. You cannot be responsible for anyone, any other actions that's not your own.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean bad stuff can't happen to you. It just means, we've also got a responsibility for ourselves. And, even if this bad thing happens to you, it's what you do then after it, is in your control. We know bad things have happened to a lot of people. I'm not saying anything like, it's your fault or anything like that. That's not what we're saying here. It's kind of just, it's accepting what's happened to you and deciding with a full heart what you then do with that. Do you let it eat you up, or do you go and help other people suffering the same thing? There's two different options, two very different options, and
It's like, I mean, domestic abuse. I'm going a bit off topic here, but just bear with me here. It's like domestic abuse. I do not agree with that one bit. That no one should go through that relationship being violent, whether it's the man to the woman to the man. No one should go through a violent relationship. But in my view, you have two choices to make. And again, I express this is just my view. This is not the truth, it's my view. There's two choices you can make. One, you stay with that person, stay in that negative, unserveful relationship and carry on what you're doing. Or two, you get help and you try and make your life better and get the help. Two choices, and that's what it's like with male vulnerability. There's two choices. You choose to be vulnerable, or you choose to bottle it up and basically tell a lie for the rest of your life.
Yeah, or either that, or it's just going to eat you up, until it releases an explosion like a volcano, and you end up, shouting at your kids, or shouting at someone in the street, a little bit too zealously, and you don't mean that. It's just what it comes out in those sort of ways, and it's not going to create better love and connection. And in my view, that's not what a man is. A man is supposed to lead by example as well. Like, if you want your kids to be bottling up all this, say you've got a son, would you want him to bottle his, pains and sufferings up? And I'm sure the majority of you would say no to that. So why the hell are you? Why aren't you, showing and leading by example? And this is how you handle your emotions, my boy, or whatever. Like, this is me being vulnerable with you. Like, I want to mirror that behavior and show you how it's done, and teach our children that way. I'm speaking generally here. Like, I'm not a father. I hope to be one day, but I know the kind of father I would want to be. It's that. I wouldn't expect my son to do anything that I wouldn't comfortable doing myself, or had walked the path, because I want to be able to advise them on all this kind of stuff. And if I'm too scared to go there, like, and be vulnerable and be open, how am I going to explain that to them? And even if it's, yeah, and I kind of want to share a bit of my story and why this means so much to me as well. About a year ago, I went through a redundancy for the third time in my life. I was literally went into a very deep, dark depression. But I hid it from everybody, funnily enough. And it's only since I've started coaching that it's opened my eyes. So a year ago, I was like everyone who bottles it up now. I mean, I still get days where I want to shut the world out, but eventually I will talk to someone about it, because I know now that's the only way to get on the right side again and heal myself. And I know that it doesn't show weakness and doesn't show the things I thought it meant. If anything, it shows the opposite. You're showing strength, you're showing extreme courage to be able to put yourself in that vulnerable place, in front of other people. Yeah, I just started getting vulnerable as I possibly could, and like, this coaching journey has completely transformed me, basically. I've always been quite an open person, but never about my pains, and that was one thing I never would share. No, I was always just suffer in silence, and I realized it wasn't doing anything for me. And you guys must be feeling that as well, whoever's going through those sort of down days and doesn't feel like sharing, doesn't feel like telling anybody what you're going through. I want you to hear this message. You're showing strength by being vulnerable, and it's not a weakness at all. Like, in fact, it shows me great bravery.
Shows that courage and confidence. Well, it shows that courage.
And it shows me the truth. I want to see the truth of people. Like, authenticity is one of my highest values. So when I meet people, I want to meet the real them. I don't want to meet people's highlight reels, because I know it's not real. It's not to say we can't have a positive conversation. You can tell me about all of the highlights of your life, because you can. I'll absolutely champion everybody's wins. But I also want to be there for your darkest days, and to help you through them and to shine a light. you know.
Yeah, we don't like fake people.
It's just
No one likes fake friends.
it's just what's the point of it? It's like you want, and you're there to make a genuine connection with someone, you know, and share genuine things, you know. What's the point of a fake friend? Just cheating the relationship, basically. You're already, you know, making it false, you know, before you've even started it. So
And I mean, I know.
I'm not saying on the first date, you know, you go out and you tell everyone your life story, but you know, don't be scared if someone asks you that sort of deep question. You know, don't be scared to go there if the questions go there. Like, you know, I'm not saying you have to sit someone down and just talk about yourself for an hour. You know, go into all the traumas of your life because, you know, I want you to do what's serving you in that moment. You know, it might not serve you to dig up old wounds, but to talk about what you're going through now is the most important thing. And if that means you're having a down day and you're talking about that now, that's how you move forward because you're getting that and you know, you're using that support network around you, you know, to a positive effect.
And I mean, when I was younger, I used to have a lot of fake friends, just so I could say I had friends. And if you're only being friends with someone just so you can say you've got friends, then not only are they the fake friends, but then you're a fake friend too for thinking like that. And I mean, I'll be honest, I ain't got much friends out there. I've got the friends that I know who will be there 24/7 through thick and thin, high and low, as you did that then, high and low, up and down. If they're going to be there for me, I'll be there for them. That is a real friend. Now, you don't have to have 20,000 friends. You could just have one friend. As long as you can trust that person with your life, trust them with being vulnerable, just trust them to be there, then why do you need fake friends? You don't. I'm using that word need. No one needs fake friends, but you don't want them either.
And yeah, I think to wrap up, you know, that's what would be your kind of golden nugget saying today. Yeah.
Golden nugget.
Like
I'll just
a bit of advice for people to kind of sum up what we've been talking about tonight to really kind of put the final nail in the coffin.
what I would say is always be vulnerable, always be open with yourself and others, and never to give up.
And you know, let's create a more interlocking world, like where we're all kind of intertwined and you know, loving, respecting one another, like, and yeah, creating true love and connection, because that's what life's all about. It's not the possessions you have, it's you know the friends you make along the way, and you know how well they know you. You know, is a reflection of how great your friendship was. You know, so be open, be honest, yeah, and share your heart.
And there's one more as well. I would say, be the person you'd want your kid to be, but also be the person that you'd want people to remember you by. If you can't be open and honest, then no one's going to remember you for being a true person. No one's going to remember you for being open and honest and trustworthy. So be the person you want people to remember you by.
That's the highest version of you, for sure. So yeah, thank you for listening tonight. I hope some of these, topic is tough to talk about, and it is tough to hear at the same time as well. But let's continue to draw on that courage.
Build up that confidence.
And let's get back our roar.
And just before we finish this podcast, if this has resonated with anyone and people out there who have resonated with our stories and do feel the way we've felt or in the similar situation, please reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, the Roar Makerz, on our Facebook page. We're on Instagram. You can even reach out to our community, Courage and Confidence, Hope of Jason and Adam, or even message us privately on Facebook with Jason Boorman is his name, Adam Ellis is my name. Just please reach out to us.
And if you really, really like this YouTube channel as well, if you're listening on YouTube, go and find us if you're not, and then please subscribe and hit that notification bell, and we will be serving you with more videos, and you won't miss them. Because we get fantastic guests on here, lots of interaction, and great topics, that are real, that are current, and that are important. Without further ado, thank you very much for listening, and have a great night. Thank you very much.